Omuwala Sale yasassanira ku mitimbagano mu vidiyo eyaleeraga abaali bakama be mu Buwalabu nga bamusibula wakati mu maziga ag'essanyu ate ayongedde okukola ebyafaayo eri eggwanga ssaako ekitongole ky'ebyobulambuzi wano mu ggwanga. Ono Soul TV yeyokka eyasobola okutuuka mu maka ga Sala mwava era n'atubuulira engeri gye yayisibwamu ng'asibula abaali bakama be wakati mu ssanyu.
Ne bakaaba n'angamba, don't go, I want to stay with you, don't leave me here, don't leave me. Ne mugamba, don't worry. Kati ne bagamba, it's okay Sarah, go. Kati ye n'agenda n'abeeyawulako n'ayingira mu another room. Ne bagamba ne bamuyita n'ajja. Ne mugamba, bad, I'm going but I'll be back. N'agaana ne mugamba, sing for me my song.
Yes, only you are. Oh. Yes, only ones and
agamba nti baali bamumanyiira nga batandika n'okwogera Oluganda okusaba ssaako n'okuyimba ennyimba ez'Oluganda.
Naye abaana tubadde twogera Oluganda like oyo mutabani wange adda ngamba nkwagala nnyo nenkukunda munonga
nga yakugamba
nga ngamba nenkukunda munonga.
Bakama be baali bamusuubizza obutakoma ku kumusibula wabula n'okujja mu ggwanga Uganda basobola okubeera ku mukolo gwe era olwaleero batuuse mu ggwanga. Oluvannyuma lw'emboozi Soul TV gye yakola ekitongole kya Uganda Tourism Board nakyo kyasitukiramu ne kikwatagana ne bakama ba Sala nga leero nakyo kikulembeddemu enteekateeka z'okumwaniriza.
Abantu bano ffe twajja obbamanya nga 11 December era ndowooza nammwe mwalaba story yaabwe yali viral ku social media nti mu story twamanya nti balina omuwala abadde akola nabo nga bamuyita Sarah nga bakoledde okumala emyaka 6 era mu video nga balaga nti Sarah abadde muntu nga yafuuka part of the family nga akoze bulungi emirimu gye so baali bamusiibula nga Sarah akomawo eno okufumbirwa atandika obulamu obulala. Video eyo ne tukwatako nnyo nga bagamba banne Sarah yeesiza bulungi, Sarah alabiridde family yaffe nga tulaba abaana bakaaba bakulu bakaaba Sarah akaaba ne kitukwatako nnyo ffe nga ba Tourism Board. So ntugamba Khalid waba alabye Sarah ono n'amusana abasanyusa n'abayisa bulungi lwaki ate tetumuleeta ne tumulaga ebintu ebirala ebirungi ebikwatagana ku nsi yaffe eno.
Khalid ne famire ye yonna batuuse mu ggwanga era bakumalamu ennaku 5 nga bakulambuzibwa ebifo eby'enjawulo ekitongole kya Uganda Tourism Board. Mu kwogerako ne Khalid asiimye Sarah olw'ekifaananyi ky'awadde eggwanga Uganda n'empisa ze yayolesa ng'akyali e Dubai.
When people think or they read the story that she worked with our family, she didn't work with our family. She was part of our family for 6 years. She was a sister to all of us, and it's just so good to see her again. So first of all, the reason that Salama and I agreed to sort of seeing more of the country and using this as an opportunity to not just, of the most important thing is to attend Sarah's wedding and celebrate one of the most important moments of her life. But the reason that we wanted to see parts of the country too is because we as a country, we understand the importance of tourism to an economy. The leadership of the UAE have put so many things in place for decades to ensure that tourists from around the world can come to the UAE and enjoy the country and explore the country, connect with the people, connect with the culture, and it creates this, and that's what created the global environment that the United Arab Emirates has today and the opportunities, and that's all due to the leadership putting in place the infrastructure and the necessary systems in place to welcome people from around the world. And because of that, I thought, let me explore. Let my wife and my kids lead me on this journey of Uganda to share that story with the world. I am just to be clear, I am just the camera person. I am just the person who tells the story. I tell it through the eyes of Salama and my kids. They lead me through everything that I do. And I'm more curious to see how they interact with nature, how they interact with the beautiful attractions that you have, how they interact with the people. We've had nothing but warm welcomes since we've come here. And I'm just so excited to see what else is out there. This is not actually our first time in Uganda. This is our second time. Salama and I came our first time, but it was purely for a mission. We were here with the United Nations to cover the great work that Uganda does for refugees. So for us, we want to kind of take a step back from the work and just see the country for what it is. See the nature. I mean, I've only seen YouTube videos. And one thing I can tell you is if it looks 10% of as nice as it looks on the YouTube videos, it's going to be incredible. So we're very excited. And I think the number one driver that Salama and I had to coming in terms of exploring is because this is something that's making our youngest son Abdullah's dreams come true. So our youngest son Abdullah, hey Abdullah, you good? You're excited to see the animals? Yes. So our youngest son Abdullah is I mean, what's the word I'm looking for?
An animal.
Fanatic.
Fanatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just absolutely in love with animals, and it's been a tough time for the world, and for everything that our kids have had to deal with. The one thing that they would always ask is Mama, Baba, when can we travel again? This is our first trip as a family since things went into lockdown and traveling stopped, and now that things have opened up again, this is our first trip as a family. And nothing gives Salama and I more joy than the first trip making our children's dreams come true, to see the things that they love, which are animals, up close and personal, to see the true beauty of nature, Mother Earth. And we look forward to sharing that story with the world, inshallah. And I'm happy to take any questions that you all have for my wife and I. And just to be clear, she's the boss here. I do what she says. I go where she goes. And I'm just proud to follow her and tell the story through her eyes and my children's eyes, inshallah.
Bwe tumubuuzizza ku mbeera gye bagamba nti Abafirika babonaabonera mu Buwalabu, ategeezezza nti kino kiri buli wamu, wabula abantu basinga kutambuza amawulire amabi okusinga amalungi, nga kati ye kyakola kwe kutambuza amalungi.
I think for me, what's important is to I want to answer your question, but I want to answer it in a way that represents, in the whole world, we're taught to live a certain way. As we grow up, we're taught to how to treat other people. We're taught to, treat everyone with respect, treat everyone with love, treat everyone in a way that they can come into our country and feel loved and feel respected and be able to create a life for themselves and from their families back home. Now, that's the way I do it. That's the way my father did it. That's the way his father did it. That's the way Salama did it. That's the way her family did it. And that's the way many families around the world do it. And are there people around the world that don't do that? Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, everywhere in the world has people who don't do that. And unfortunately, it takes a few bad cases to set the story. You as a journalist, right? What's more interesting for you to cover? This nice story or this bad story? Let's be serious. There's a reason you asked the question, because that's the question that gets the ratings, and that's the question that gets a lot of people to watch and see. When people see a happy video released on Facebook, it's like, okay, but then they see a bad video posted on Facebook of something, it gets shared a lot. So that becomes the narrative. Am I saying everywhere in the world is perfect? No, you can't. But for me, I believe that what Sarama and I represent is the values of our country and how we are told to treat people and how we are told to welcome people. And as much as possible, you know, whenever these cases are happening, you know, they are met with the full force of the law. Anywhere in the world. So for me, what's important is to always cover the good and to ensure that, you know, because the authorities are doing their job to hold the people accountable that are not living by the rules and treating people with the respect they deserve. So for me, I always say, you know, it's important to focus on the good and to highlight the good things that are happening, because if we don't, then those small stories win. Exactly. Those small stories win. And people paint narratives about every country in the world. I'm sure people have some opinions about the UAE. I'm sure people have some opinions about Uganda. But why are we all here together in this room? Because we want to share the best of both of our countries. And it's only by all of us coming together that we can do that.
Sarah ne mama we basimye Salt Media n'omusumba Lozia Sibujingo kwoteeka n'ekkanisa eya House of Prime Ministers International gye basabira olw'okutuuka ku kkula lino nga n'embaga ya muwala waabwe ya Ramwakaga luno era abaali bakama be baakugibeerako.
Neebaza nnyo pasita wange ambeereddewo ayimiridde nange mu kintu kino era nsaba Mukama amwe kyasinga okwagala. Ekitiibwa nyonge ekitiiza Mukama kubanga yakigwana. Naye mbaga ya Lwakutaano mbayita mujje mukavalinga omukolo ekintu kyaffe kye twatandika nga church nga tiimu.
Nsanyuse nnyo. It was a surprise to me. Bambi nsanyuse kulanga babasanyukidde bwe bati.
Oluvannyuma lw'okulaga emboozi eya mwana muwala Saala ng'avudde mu ggwanga erya United Arab Emirates eyakwasa bangi essanyu n'amaziga ne bakaaba, ate bakama be abaali bali naye okumala emyaka 6 tebakomye okukoma eri gye babeeranga naye, wabula batuuse ne olwaleero wano mu ggwanga nga bagenda kubeera ku mukolo gwe ogenda kubeerawo ku lunaku olw'omukaaga wiiki eno. Kino kiwadde bannayuganda essanyu n'okutegeeza nti si nti buli munnayuganda yenna ava wano mu Uganda n'agenda mu ggwanga erya United Arab Emirates abagenze kubonaabona, wabula bangi bwe weeyisa obulungi ovaayo n'emikisa nga Saala bwe yakoze.
Kari Ameri ne famire ye balina abagoberezi obukadde 6 n'omusobyo ku mitimbagano era bano batwalibwa ng'ekyomuwendo mu ggwanga lya United Arab Emirates.
Bless you, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for covering Sala's story.
Yeah.
What you're doing. Bless
Thank you so much.
Take care, brother.
Thank you.
Bikusakiddwa tumwebaze Godfrey ne Sebalamu Eric Russell TV Omunyo.